तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः। Akshay asked a question last time. So, it is not given to anybody and everybody to understand the divinity. There is a shloka in Bhagavad Gita. Nasato vidyate bhavaha, nabhavo vidyate satah. Ubhairupi drishtantas tanayos tattvadarshibhi. Sat na asatah bhava vidyate. Asat never exists. Asat, what is non-existent, never exists. And Sat never ceases to exist. Whatever exists, exists all the time. Why this is said this? Because many things we see, but it does not exist. For example, we see sun rising and sun setting. But if we consider, then we'll understand that sun never rises nor sets in. But we see, you ask anyone, they'll say, yes, sun rises, sun sets in. But actually it is not. We are moving, we think that sun is rising and setting in. Similarly, we see darkness also. Actually, darkness is less light. So light alone exists. When there is absence of light, we call darkness. Darkness has no existence, but we see. So like this is very subtle to understand. It requires contemplation. So everybody cannot understand the divine principles. So you had a question, Akshay had a question, that some people, they contradict that no, Sri Ramakrishna is not divine, or say Holy Mother. So it is not their fault. It is because they don't contemplate that much. But those who contemplate, they understand the value of the life of Sri Ramakrishna and Holy Mother. In Gita there is another shloka. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavan mam prapadyanti. Vasudevah sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. After many, many births, bahunam janmanam ante, at the end of many, many, many births, those who are jnani, wise people, they worship me. Jnanavan mam prapadnante. Vasudevah sarvamiti. Vasudeva is Sri Krishna. So Sri Krishna was saying, but here it is God. Vasudeva sarvam iti. Sa mahatma sudurlava. Such a mahatma is very difficult to get. So such a person is very rare. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhai. And among them also, those who are striving, among them also, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhai. In thousand and thousand, someone wants to know about it. And They worship God. Among those who are worshipping, among them, in thousand and thousand of them, someone knows me. Kashchit yatatam api siddhanam kashchit mam vetti tattatha. That means those who are worshipping, even someone so very rare. So it is not given to anyone. Now, how to get it? So, yeah, last time also we discussed about it. It is satsang. Binu satsanga vivek na hoi, Ram kripa bin sulabhan asoi. Without satsanga, there is no vivek. And even satsang is available to those who have grace of God. So it is God's grace, because of that we get satsang. And Sri Shankaracharya says one thing, satsangate nitsangatvam. When we have satsang, then we have nitsanga. Nitsanga means we have no other attachment. Satsangate nissangatvam. Sang means attachment. So no attachment when we have satsang. Nissangate nirmohatam. When we have nissanga, then we are not deluded. Nirmoha. There is no moha. Nirmohatam. Nirmohatte nischalatattvam. Then when we have no moha or attachment or delusion, then we fix our mind on God. And nischalatatte jivan muktihi. And when a person is poised in the divinity, nischala tattva. Tattva is that exists. That alone is there. And he is no more deluded. Such a person, nischal tatte jivan mukti, then he becomes free while living. And there is another shloka of Shankaracharya. Tri jagati sajjan sanga. Tri jagati sajjan sangati reka bhavati bhavarnava tarane nauka. So satsang is so important that when a person comes in contact with satsang, then one gets inspiration, and that inspiration leads to realization. First conviction and then comes realization. Why we are studying the life of Holy Mother? We are studying the life of Holy Mother to have that satsang, and that we see that incarnations, they interact with various people, and those interactions are eternal. So Holy Mother or Sri Ramakrishna is no more with us as physical body, but in principle they are with us all the time. What we are doing by coming in contact with them, we uplift our understanding. Gradually we are inspired. And when we are inspired, then we are convinced. And through conviction, it comes that we will attain one day. So this is the purpose of studying. And answer of your question that day, satsangat nisangatam, that was not coming fully. So that's why I deferred. So anyway, we have seen how Mother came to Dakshineshwar, and few times. One time she had to go back the same day. Another time, 6th and 7th visit sixth visit, I think. She went back on the next day because Sri Ramakrishna thought it is because of starting her journey on inauspicious time. So he said, "This is why I have broken my arm. Please return home and start your journey again at an auspicious hour." So we'll go forward from there, Paul.
Okay. Yeah, I'm at the eighth and ninth visits.
Hmm.
After spending a few days in Jairambati in January 1884, Holy Mother returned to Dakshineshwar. A few months later, in July 1884, the Master sent Holy Mother to Kamarpukur to attend the wedding of his nephew Ramlal. Yogin Ma recalled, "The day that Holy Mother was leaving for Kamarpukur to attend the wedding of Ramlal, I went to Dakshineshwar. I was very sad at the thought that I would not see her for many days. Before her departure, Holy Mother went to bow down to the Master. He came out of his room and stood on the northern veranda. Holy Mother bowed down and took the dust of his feet. The Master said to her, 'Go carefully. See that you don't leave behind any of your belongings in the boat or railway compartment.' This was the first time I saw the Master and Holy Mother together."
Yeah. So generally, what happens? People are busy in their action, and they get down without taking the whole thing, even after reminder also. Now in airlines they remind, please take your articles that you have left, and similarly, and but we see lots of people do like this. Even important articles they leave. It is because of their lack of attention. So there is a formula. Look back. When you are starting, just look back. What you are leaving. So look back. That will save you many times. And look back means not only physically looking back, but also think what I was carrying and what I should carry. So this way we can save many mm, many things. Otherwise, we'll be forgetful, and then we are in inconvenience. So this Sri Ramakrishna, this is very important. As Sri Ramakrishna would say that while while going, go first, so that you get a nice seat. But while coming back, while descending from boat or train, you should be the last to check that everybody has taken their things. See how practical they are. It's not only spiritual. So, this way, the awareness is cultivated. Many times we try to do two, three things together and we forget. So, alertness is very important. Mindfulness is very important. If we are not mindful about our small things of day to day use, then how can we be alert about our spiritual ideal? That is why in our monasteries, this is always stressed that please be careful about your uh, articles, and wherever you pick from, you have to return it to that place. Once Lakshmi Didi wiped a broom, used broom, and then she threw. Mother said, "What are you doing? Such a useful articles, and you are disrespectful of it. It takes same time to put in its proper place." So this should be inculcated. Why it is important? Because if we take care of our day-to-day articles or behavior pattern, then Our training will be uh, mindful of other our spiritual ideal. We will be mindful about it. So this is very important. Yes.
The master also said, maintain good relationships with the neighbors. If someone is sick, please visit that person or make inquiries through somebody. During this trip, Holy Mother went with others by train from Howrah to Burdwan and from there to Kamarpakur by bullock cart via Uchalan. The distance between Howrah and Burdwan is 67 miles and between Burdwan and Kamarpakur 30 miles. After Ramlal's marriage ceremony, Holy Mother stayed in Kamarpakur and Jairambati for a few months and then returned to Dakshineshwar via Burdwan in March 1885. This was her last visit to the Kamarpukur Jairambati area during the master's lifetime.
Yeah.
Ramakrishna
So
in Jairambati.
just a minute. There was echo. Maintain good relationship with the neighbors. So here, this is Western country. We hardly interact with our neighbors, but that is very important in India, especially. But here it is also important. In Australia, they cultivate a neighborhood day, and some thinking of neighbors. They are invited. When I was in Melbourne, I used to invite our neighbors. I was thinking to start here also. And what we do, we have some fruits, we distribute those fruits to our neighbors. So this way we are to keep our relationship with our neighbors. So they also try to help us. Like one lady is there, she gives some plants. She runs mm, a nursery. So both husband and wife, they are from Japan. So this is very good qualities that we are to inculcate. Yes. And Bardhaman, it is called Bardhaman, and that time the railway was it came into being, and now even railway has gone up to Jairambati and Kamarpukur. So it is so easy to go now, but that time it was really difficult. Yes. Go ahead.
Ramakrishna in Jairambati. Before 1881, Ramakrishna visited Kamarpakur several times to recover from his broken health, especially during the rainy season. Hriday accompanied him on these journeys. The master was fond of the people in his village and entertained them with songs and stories. He would visit Jairambati, Sihar, and Vishnapur also. Following are some incidents that took place during some of those visits. Once in Jairambati, the master went to bed after supper and then he went into ecstasy. He felt terribly hungry and asked for some food. Holy Mother told him that there was nothing except for some rice soaking in water. The master said, "Serve it to me." "But there are no vegetables," she told him. The master replied, "Why don't you look more carefully? Today you made a hot fish curry. See if any of that is left." Holy Mother went to the kitchen and found that a tiny fish and some sauce were left at the bottom of a bowl. The master was happy when she brought it to him. He ate 3 pounds of soaked rice with that fish and was satisfied. Some people in
So these are,
Jairambati.
very significant um, happenings, because Sri Ramakrishna, like he used to, once a lady came and she saw Sri Ramakrishna was eating, and as he was eating, he was offering to Kundalini, and Kundalini was grabbing the food like that. So she said, the master, are you eating or you are feeding someone? So this is like extraordinary things happen in the lives of incarnations. It's not ordinarily conceivable. So that happened like, for eating. In the West, when Swami Vivekananda was here, many a times he looked taller and with inspiration, and he delivered lectures, even lifting the audience along with him, mentally and also like spiritually. So this is extraordinary functions of uh, an incarnation. Yes.
Some people in Jairambati often ridiculed the master by calling him the mad son in law. Now and then he would jump up from his seat and exclaim, "This time everyone will be liberated, including the Muslims and untouchables. None will be left behind." At this, villagers would remark, "What a madman!" When village women came to see him, he would make witty remarks, sometimes off color. This would make them laugh and cause many of them to run away in embarrassment. The master would tell those who remained, "The weeds have been removed. Now be seated, and I shall talk to you."
See, so everybody cannot digest. Even Sri Ramakrishna would tell that I am a fool, I am a murkha, I am a fool, and I don't know anything. But people come here. Why they come? It is because the manifestation of the Divine Mother. So, not only people called him mad, he himself would say like Paglava moon. So like that. Yes.
Aunt Banu, a neighbor of Holy Mother, had previously had a glimpse of Ramakrishna's spiritual intoxication and became very fond of him. Swami Nikhilananda, who met Aunt Banu, recalled, "Once she made a garland and wanted to put it around Sri Ramakrishna's neck. Hiding it under her sari, she went to the master but felt shy about offering it to him in the presence of other women. The master somehow came to know of her intention and told a naughty joke that made the women laugh and leave the room. When Banu was alone with him, he asked her to offer the garland. As soon as it was put around his neck, he went into deep samadhi. Banu was frightened, thinking he might have been stung by a poisonous insect hidden in the flowers. Presently, Hride arrived and brought the master back to the normal state of consciousness with the help of a mantra. After that incident, Shamasundari tried to keep women away from his presence.
So Sri Ramakrishna would get inspired because he always saw divinity within. So when garland is put, he would see that his divine is being worshipped. So that's why he would go to samadhi. Um, yeah, Bhanu Pishi was also very high sadhika, very high aspirant. Yes.
Once, when Holy Mother was at Jairambati, the master also went there. He asked her to wash his feet with fuller's earth, Sajimati. Seeing her loving service to her husband, some women commented, "Look what has happened to Sarada. She has no physical relationship with her husband, yet she still has so much love for him." Swami Subodhananda related this incident. One night in Jairambati, the master went to bed after supper. Afterwards, Holy Mother had her supper and finished the housework. When she entered the master's room, she found a blazing light shining on the bed, but the bed was empty. She stood there the entire night with folded hands. At daybreak, the master emerged from the light and bowed down to Holy Mother, saying, "You have appeared in this form. Very good."
Mm-hmm. So the Subodhananji. So such incidents happened, and our Swamis always avoided any miraculous incidents that cannot be explained in the life of Sri Ramakrishna and also Holy Mother. Though many miracles happened, even miracles happened in the life of Swami Vivekananda, but he always insisted that present something which is rational. So this is extraordinary um, uh, experience that Sri Ramakrishna is light. Swami Vivekananda would say that Sri Ramakrishna is still in the same form. Those who call on him, they see him. So it is subtle, it is a spiritual body, because devotees want God's form. It's not only they are not satisfied with only principle, but they want to serve God. So for them they keep the incarnations keep their form for a long time. And later sadhakas also, they worship that form. Yes. Sri Ramakrishna in Dakshineshwar.
So we're on chapter 6
Nityotsava
now.
bhavet tesham nitya sri nitya mangalam yesham hridisthito bhagavan mangalayatano harihi. So nitya utsava. Utsav means some festivity. Those who installed the auspicious Lord in their hearts always enjoy festivity and attain prosperity and blessedness. So Nityotsavam bhavet tesham. Those who install God in their hearts, for them every day is a celebration. Nitya Sri. Nitya Sri means the prosperity is again always. Nitya Mangalam, always it is good. Even they are suffering, but that suffering also is nothing for them. Yesham Hridisthito Bhagavan, whose heart is residence of God, or God resides in their hearts. Mangal Ayatano Hari. Why it is so? Because God is all blessings. God is truth alone, the only truth. Nasato vidyate, as we started today, Sat never ceased to exist. So one who thinks of God, he enjoys the most. Yes.
Holy Mother first came to Dakshineshwar in March 1872 when she was 18 years 3 months old, and lived with the Master off and on for approximately 8 years in Dakshineshwar and 9 months in Shyamapakur and Kasipur. She considered her time living with the Master in Dakshineshwar to be the glorious period of her life. She later joyfully recalled, "Those were my blissful days. The Master put a picture of bliss in my heart." Austerities in the Nahabat. Whenever we think of Holy Mother's hardships in the Nahabat, we cannot control our tears. Chapter 5 described the Nahabat where Holy Mother lived in Dakshineshwar. This 2-story brick structure still stands. It is about 75 feet north of Ramakrishna's room on the bank of the Ganges. The upper level of the Nahabat commands a panoramic view of the sacred river, the temple complex, and the flower gardens. Holy Mother lived on the ground floor in a tiny octagonal room that is about 50 square feet. All around the room is a narrow veranda about 4 feet wide with 2 doors leading into the room. The room has 2 vents, but no windows. For the sake of privacy, the veranda was surrounded by plated bamboo screens which offered privacy but blocked sunlight and fresh air. At the northeast corner of the veranda is a staircase leading upstairs. Under the stairs in the southeast corner, there is a low space that Holy Mother used for cooking.
Hmm. Uh, you see, this is the picture. So this is a very tiny place. Why it is made? Big architecture, and by the side some supporting structures are also made. But this was for musical instruments and playing their instrument. So sitting on the veranda, the musicians would play shahnai, um, a aerial instrument by like blowing the instrument. So shahnai and then nagara. So it was a very small house. It is still there. So the details is like this. The following is the detailed description of the Nahabat as it was in Holy Mother's time, given by Swami Gambhirananda. In his biography of Holy Mother, the room downstairs where Holy Mother lived is octagonal in shape, each wheel measuring 3 feet 3 inches. So octagonal, you can 3 feet 3 inches, like this, 8-sided. The distance between the walls across the floor is 7 feet 9 inches. Very small. The floor area is a little less than 50 square feet. The only opening door in the southern side is 4 feet 2 inches by 2 feet 2 inches. There are 2 vents. There is another door in the southeast corner of the veranda for the kitchen. The width of the veranda is 4 feet 3 inches. The the height of the room is 9 feet 3 inches. Probably later the vents were sealed up and 2 doors were added, one on the north and the other on the west. So this is the description. It's a very tiny small place, and their mother used to live, cook, entertain the guest. Lots of austerity. That's why people would say like Mother Sita. Sarada Devi was in the Ashok Vatika of Ravana, like that. But it was the holy place, not Ashok Vatika. It is a holy place sanctified by so many great ones, and especially Sri Ramakrishna, and wonderful temple. And by the side of Ganga, that's a special place. So now people go there, bow down, and remember Mother. Yes.
That tiny room in the Nahabat was her bedroom, living room, shrine, workplace, and storage room. It also served as a guest room when Ramakrishna's niece Lakshmi and women devotees visiting from Calcutta would stay at night. After the master's passing away, Holy Mother reminisced about her days in the Nahabat. I used to live in the Nahabat. Oh, how much hardship I had to go through to live in that tiny room. I had to store all my belongings and groceries in it. From the ceiling hung a pot in a sling containing live fish used for the master's meals. They splashed in the water all night. The master had a weak stomach. He could not digest the oily and spicy food offered to Mother Kali. So in the Nahabat, I cooked for him and for the devotees. Surendra Mitra provided 10 rupees every month for household expenses, and Senior Gopal would buy the groceries. I had to make chapatis from 6 to 8 pounds of flour. The master brought Latu, who worked for Ramdatta, and said, "This boy is good. He will help you knead the dough." Ramdatta came by carriage and said, "Today I shall eat chana dal and chapati." No, no sooner had I heard this than I started cooking. When Ramlal stayed with the master, I often cooked khichdi for him. I spent many hours cooking. Sometimes I lived alone in the Nahabat, and from time to time Lakshmi, Yogan Golap, Go- Gordasi, and others stayed with me. I used to bathe at four
Gordashi
o'clock in
became
the.
a sannyasini later. So, yeah. And in between, and seeing that a house was built nearby, that we have already studied. Yes.
I used to bathe at 4 o'clock in the morning. When there was a little sunshine on the steps in the afternoon, I would dry my hair. I then had very thick hair. The fisherwomen were my companions. When they came to bathe in the Ganges, they kept their baskets on the veranda of the Nahabat and went down for their dip. They would tell me many stories and then collect their baskets and leave. At night, I used to hear the fishermen sing as they caught fish in the Ganges.
This is still there, only it is now too crowded and many steamers or boats are going here there. Um, but that time it was very quiet. Yes.
Many devotees came to the master, and there was continuous singing, dancing, kirtan, bhava, and samadhi in his room. I made a hole in the bamboo screen and stood behind it to watch what was going on in the master's room. Because I stood for long periods of time, I developed rheumatism. While listening to the kirtan, I thought that if I were a devotee, I would stay with the master and listen to him speak.
Hmm. And that hole became bigger and bigger. So master used to joke, what is that hole is becoming bigger. Anyway, go ahead.
Let's see. There's some pictures here.
And
Wow. Okay. Another painful aspect of Holy Mother's life in the Nahabat comes to mind. There were no bathing or toilet facilities in the Nahabat. Moreover, the temple garden was a public place that offered very little privacy. Holy Mother was so modest that she kept herself veiled to hide her face from people she did not know. During the dark hours of the morning, she would go to the jungle on the bank of the Ganges to answer the call of nature, and then would bathe in the Ganges. Later, she recalled her sad plight. "I suffered terribly by suppressing the urge to answer the call of nature and thus developed intestinal problems. If I felt the urge during the day, I controlled it till evening and prayed to the Lord to spare me embarrassment. Only during the dark hours of night could I go out. What discomfort!" Later, Yogin Ma, a woman devotee of the Master, realized Holy Mother's predicament and arranged to have an outhouse built near the Nahabat.
hmm.
Holy Mother
So
recalled,
this story uh, in India, even after a century, it was there, and only after 2014, after the present government came to power, started making toilets in masse. So maybe 100 million toilets were made, maybe more. Say 100, 1200 maybe more. Now the situation has improved a lot. Especially ladies used to suffer a lot, and villages. Some taboo also was there. People would think that it should not be near the house. It should be outhouse. Say um, in Europe also it was that kind of thinking that the toilet would be a bit away. That time that um, toilet of today was not there, and because of smell etc. So they used to keep away. And in India, this was and people are traditional, so they would not keep near the house. But now modern India, that this problem is solved. Yes.
One day the master said to Hride, "You see, I was a little anxious about her. She's a village girl and not accustomed to living in this place where there is no toilet. I would be embarrassed if someone saw her going to ease herself in the bushes and made a comment. But she is so discreet that no one knows when she goes to answer the call of nature. Even I have never seen her." I was anxious when I heard this and thought, "My goodness, the Divine Mother shows him whatever he wants. Now, if I go to the bushes, he may see me." I then earnestly prayed to the Divine Mother, "O Mother, please protect my modesty." My loving mother always shielded me as if with her wings. I stayed in Dakshineshwar so many years, but no one saw my private affairs. Regarding her natural shyness and modest habits, the manager of the temple garden once remarked, "Yes, we have heard about her living here, but we have never seen her."
Mm. So this is a blot on India, um, because of age-old practice, because of habit, and it's a very inconvenient. But now it is solved. Uh, Even in villages, in cities, government has taken care of this problem. Yes.
Lakshmi's eyewitness account helps us to visualize Holy Mother's daily life in the Nahabat. At Dakshineshwar, we stayed in the Nahabat. When the master wished to indicate the mother to his visitors, he would make a circle with his finger at the tip of his nose, at the tip of the nose. This was because the mother wore a nose ring.
Yeah,
He
nose
used
ring
to
like this. He would show like this. Your mother had a nose ring. Though
he
in the picture it is not there, because were taken later when Nivedita and Mrs. Olibul came after that. So that time it was removed. Before that, yes.
he used to refer to the Nahabat as a cage and to us as shuksari. When fruits and sweets that had been offered to the Divine Mother were brought to
Yes,
the Master,
Shukshari, there are two parrots. She is referring to two birds in Indian folklore that love to proclaim Krishna's glories. So, two birds, parrots, they, they used to converse. Both are attached to Krishna. So, one is attached to Krishna, one is Radha. So, one would take the side of Krishna, and another would take the side of Radha. So this way, that is, I mean, it's very interesting singing also, and some conversations are also there. So Master used to um, joke like Holy Mother and Gauri Dashi or Lakshmi Didi. So like they are in the case and Shukshari are there. Okay. So this way, the story is bit entertaining. Yes.
when fruits and sweets that had been offered to the Divine Mother were brought to the Master, he would remind Brother Ramlal, "Don't forget that there are two birds in that cage. Give them some fruits and peas." Newcomers would take the Master's words literally. Even Master Mahashay M., the recorder of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, did so at first. Village women would come to visit the mother, and sometimes the master overheard their conversations. Once he said to the mother, "These women come and stroll by the goose pond. When they see me, they talk among themselves, and I hear what they are saying. They say, 'This man is good, but one thing is strange. He does not sleep with his wife at night.' Please don't pay any heed to their talk. They are worldly women. They may convince you to use tricks or medicines to divert my mind towards the world. Please don't follow their advice. I have given myself completely to God." The mother was embarrassed and reassured the master, "Oh, no, no, I won't pay any attention to them."
See, even the incarnation is very careful about it. So, uh, the thing is mindfulness. That's very important. So, one should be very careful about such things. Though both of them knew who they were, what they are for here. So, still, yes.
How we managed in that tiny room of the Nahabat, I sometimes wonder. It was the Master's divine play. Usually it was shared by Holy Mother, another girl, and me. Sometimes Gopal Ma, who was a large woman, or other women devotees from Calcutta also stayed with us. Moreover, we had to store our groceries, cooking vessels, dishes, and even the water jar in that room. Since the master had a weak stomach, we also stored the food for his special diet. The master did not sleep much at night. When it was still dark outside, he would move around the temple garden, and while passing near the Nahabat, he called, O Lakshmi, O Lakshmi, get up. Ask your aunt to get up also. How long will you sleep? It is also dawn. The crows and cuckoos are about to sing. Chant the name of the Divine Mother. Sometimes in the winter, when the master called for me, Mother, lying under her quilt, would whisper, Keep quiet. He has no sleep in his eyes. It is not the right time to get up, and the birds have not yet started singing. Don't respond. But if the master didn't get a response, he would pour water under the door sill. And since we slept on the floor, we had to get up without delay. Even so, sometimes our beds got wet. The master lost some hair from the front of his head because of excessive heat in his body, and some of his hair and beard turned gray. He did not care to live long to be an old man. He would say, I don't want to hear people saying that there is an old monk in Rasmani's temple garden. Don't don't say that, the mother replied. You are not old. Do you think you are old enough to leave this world? Moreover, if you live here as an old monk, people will say a wise monk lives in Rasmani's temple.
So, this is the way of mother used to console Sri Ramakrishna. But Swamiji used to call him Buddho. Buddha means old man. When he went to Mayavati and he saw that Sri Ramakrishna was being worshipped there, he said, I thought there will be at least one place where he is not worshipped, and there should be Advaita. But I see the old man entered there also. Like that, he used to joke. Though he was hardly 50 years at that time. Um, when he passed away, little more than 50. And Swamiji even did not complete his 40th years. So, but it's not age of the body, but it is the tremendous work, the sadhana they perform, that is important. Yes.
The master replied, Pooh, who is going to call me a wise monk? Anyhow, I can't bear it if anybody calls me old fellow. Yogin Ma recalled, Holy Mother used to live in the Nahabat like a shy bride. She wore a sari with a broad red border. Her hair was black, thick, and long, and she wore a vermilion mark on her forehead. She also wore a necklace, a nose ring, earrings, and bracelets. Her company gave me immense joy. She liked the way I braided her hair very much, and I was delighted to do it for her. Once in the early morning, Holy Mother went to bathe at the Bakul Talagat, which is near the Nahabat. It was still dark. She did not notice that a crocodile was lying on one of the steps. Fortunately, at the sound of her approach, it slid into the river before she got too close. Holy Mother screamed and ran back to the Nahabat. Holy Mother's companion, Gauri Ma, held her, trying to comfort her, and joked, It was not a crocodile, Mother. It was Lord Shiva. He came to touch your feet. Set aside your fun, replied
Yeah,
Holy Mother.
crocs, like there still crocs are there, and crocs in Ganga and also in other rivers. Some are small. There are two kinds of thing. One is makar. Um, so that's makar and the crocs. So two kinds of things are there. Uh, yeah, go ahead.
Set aside your fun, replied Holy Mother. I am about to die of fear. You are the embodiment of fearlessness, Mother. How can you be afraid? Said Gorima. Holy Mother's daily routine. Every day, Holy Mother
So
got up at
this is when they an incarnation accepts human form, they also accept all the frailties like fearfulness and this and that, all kinds of things. So that um, the the lila is perfect. Yes.
every day. Holy Mother got up at 3 o'clock in the morning before other people awoke. After bathing in the Ganges, she spent about an hour and a half in worship and meditation, after which she started cooking for the Master and his devotees. If the disciples were not in Dakshineshwar to perform the task, she would rub the Master's body with oil before his bath. Afterwards, she would prepare betel rolls for the Master and his devotees. Generally, the Master took his lunch before noon, so when he returned from his bath, Holy Mother carried his food tray to his room and personally watched over his meal. She often diverted his mind with light talk so that he would not fall into samadhi while eating, which frequently happened without warning. At 1 o'clock, when a nearby factory blew its whistle, Holy Mother took her lunch. After a short rest, she would sit on the steps of the Nahabat and dry her hair.
That whistle was there, and Chandramani Devi used to think that uh, that sound is coming from heaven. Okay. Yes, go ahead.
The Master was concerned about Holy Mother's health. He told her, if a wild bird is kept within a cage day and night, it gets rheumatic. While the temple officials were resting in the early afternoon, the Master often sent Holy Mother to visit some neighbors who lived near the north gate. She returned to the Nahabat during evening vespers when no one was around. Then she would light a lamp, burn incense, and sit for meditation. Afterwards, she began cooking the evening meal. After feeding the Master and his mother, Holy Mother took her own supper and then retired to bed at about 11 o'clock.
Yeah, so that time it was very few neighbors were there. It's not that many. Nowadays it's a city. At that time it was a village, and even some jackals, snake, and some wild animals also were there. So nowadays it is totally transformed. Yes.
M described how Holy Mother lived in the Nahabat. Sri Ramakrishna's mother used to live in the upper room of the northern Nahabat, and Holy Mother lived in the lower room. Holy Mother lived there like a caged bird. She cooked for the Master in a tiny kitchen under the stairs of the Nahabat. M pointed to the steps leading to the upper floor of the Nahabat. Holy Mother would sit here and repeat her mantra as she cooked. As a result of her limited movement, she developed rheumatism that caused suffering all through her life. Her little room was filled with groceries and other things, and sometimes women devotees also stayed there. Oh, what superhuman patience, perseverance, and self control! Her self sacrifice and service were incomparable.
Yeah. And cooking also, it was not smokeless, it was full of smoke. And the under the stair would go up, and she would cook there with some wood and fuel collected from here and there. So it was not easy life. It is very, very austere life. Yes.
One should not think that Holy Mother only suffered. She also experienced spiritual ecstasy in the company of Ramakrishna. She later reminisced, what a unique man he was, how many minds he illuminated, what unceasing bliss he radiated. Day and night his room echoed and re-echoed with laughter, stories, talking, singing, and music. The master sang, and I listened hour after hour, standing behind the screen of the Nahabat. What joyous days we passed through. People poured in day and night, and there was no end to spiritual talk.
Yes. And right from the morning, she used to meditate for long hours, and she would later say that my heart was like a pitcher full of bliss. So that was her meditative life, and then the singing and stories of uh, spoken by Sri Ramakrishna and others. So that was a really wonderful scenario, or those days were so full of bliss. Yes.
Service to the master. In spiritual life, service to others is vital because it effaces the ego. There is a Hindi saying, I'll try it, Swami,
सेवा
but
बंदी और अधीनता ऐसे मिली रघुराई. So seva means service, bandi means bandana, that means singing the glory of God, and bandi also like bound to God, attached to God, that also can be said. And adhinata means accepting mm, God as the master. Aise mile raghurai. So this is the way. Service, worship, and humility are three important disciplines for God realization. Yes, go ahead.
Krishna says in the Gita 4:34, learn it by prostration, by inquiry, and by service. The wise who have seen the truth will teach you that knowledge. Ramakrishna taught his disciples practical Vedanta, that is, to serve human beings as God. According to Vedanta philosophy, Brahman or God dwells in all beings. Service to others is the easiest and quickest way to conquer the hearts of others. One can tame even ferocious wild animals with loving care. In Ramakrishna's household in Dakshineshwar, Holy Mother took the position of the mother of the house. Disregarding her own health and comfort, she served the Master, his disciples, and his devotees day and night. She demonstrated the ideal of service throughout her life.
Hmm. So tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Know him, tadvidhi. Know him, know God. How? So three things are there. Pranipatan means namaskar, that means humility. Pariprashna, that means asking relevant question. Pariprashnena. Not only prashna means question. Pariprashna means relevant question. And that also the intention should be to know and not to argue. Pariprashnena and say by service. And tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashna seva. Upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshana. So it's binding for those who are wise to impart that supreme knowledge. Yes.
Yogan Ma reminisced about how Holy Mother cared for the devotees. One day, Holy Mother was preparing betel rolls in the Nahabat, and I was watching her. She prepared some rolls with cardamom and other spices, and other rolls with only lime and betel nut. I asked, Mother, will you not add cardamom and spices to all of them? For whom are the good spicy ones, and for whom are the ordinary ones? She replied, Yogin, the good ones are for the devotees. I have to make them my own by taking special care of them. These ordinary ones are for the master, as he is already my own.
So this is very, very important. So we have to serve others and thinking that they are manifestation of God. So today we'll stop here. Akshay,
Yes,
so you asked that question, is it okay?
yes.
Okay. Is there any question today?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Like, why not the spicy beetle rolls for Shri Ram Krishna also?
Eh?
Why Holy Mother did not make spicy rolls for Shri Ram Krishna also?
Uh, I'm not very sure what you are saying. So can you repeat slowly, a bit loudly?
Why did Holy Mother not make spicy rolls for Shri Ram Krishna also?
Spicy. কি বলছে বলতে?
Swami,
Spicy
the question is,
rolls.
Oh, spicy rolls. Yeah, like
why did she not make spicy rolls for Ramakrishna also? That was the question.
yeah. The explanation is given there. She replied, Yogin, the good one are for the devotees. I have to make them my own by taking special care of them. These ordinary ones are for the master, as he is already my own. You know, you see, it is like this. If a guest come to your house, what do you do? Do you give the second class of things? You give the best because they are guest. Atithi devo bhavo. But to your mother, oh, okay, mother will take anything. So it is general that we give the best thing to others, and not that good to for others. You know, like it is not when you in your room you may lie down anywhere, but if a guest come, you'll make a nice bed and comfortable seat and good food. This is our general tendency, and especially mother is to take care of devotees. That is the main thing, right?
Yes.
Okay, we see her. Yeah, Kali temple. Yes, she would go, but she would go um, when other people are not there. Generally, that was the, she would go there. Okay, we say our prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Thank you very much. Jai Ma.
Jai
Jai
Masami.
Ma.
Jai Ma.
Ram Swamiji.